Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the video. My name is Mr. R, and I'd like to welcome you to what will now be episode 1 of what we're going to call the Freeplay podcast. So, quick explanation of what exactly this Freeplay podcast is. We're essentially going to chit-chat and talk about my thoughts on the game, news, updates, things like that, while playing in Freeplay. So in the background here, you'll see some just long clip of me just playing Freeplay, training on the game, and you'll hear me chit-chatting about a bunch of various different things. And the goal here is kind of going to be to have this be as unedited, uninterrupted as possible, so you can hear kind of my candid thoughts on how the game's been going for myself and the different things that we've been learning about our own game. So the premise of today's episode is going to be sort of like a 200-hour update, sort of what I've learned from playing 200 hours in Rocket League. Now, I played a lot of Rocket League pre-Epic, okay? So before Epic Games took over Psyonix, I had played quite a bit of Rocket League, and this is particularly in like 2019, 2020, whenever, before Epic sort of took over. Since then, I have about 200 hours since I started playing again. I played a lot back in the day on console, not on PC. Now I play it on a computer. So I have about 200 hours since I started playing again. And after our placements, particularly in 1v1, we placed at Silver 1 Division 1. And now I am gold in ones, where I think we're gold 1 Div 2 right now in 1v1. And we're actually gold in all of like the standard competitive game modes. So we have made, quite an improvement since we first started, which theoretically in 200 hours does make sense. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple of tips and some different things that I've learned over the past 200 hours that have helped me to improve quite a bit, and will hopefully help me continue to improve as we sort of continue to try to climb up the ranks and make some content for you guys here on YouTube as well. Okay, so big things that I've learned since I started playing again. Okay, number one is I learned that I don't have to try to be cool in order to be successful at the game. Okay, when I played before in 2019, 2020-ish, I spent way too much time just wasting time trying to learn how to do like cool stuff. I spent so much time trying to learn how to make cool shots, trying to learn how to do air dribbles and flip resets and ceiling shots and all of this flashy mechanics kind of stuff that was just, to be honest, kind of useless for me, because I wasn't consistent at doing the fundamental things that really matter when you play the game. I wasn't hitting the ball. I wasn't making good plays with my teammates. I was ball chasing. I was really not playing the game like I was supposed to. What I was trying to do was seeing all this content online and just trying to do all of the like super cool stuff. Okay, so number one tip is do not waste your time trying to be cool in the low ranks. Okay, you need to just spend as much time as possible working on being consistent, hitting the ball. Okay, and number two tip for you today is that the things that you do have to spend time in training on, no matter how boring they might seem, are those sort of fundamental techniques. And especially if you're like just starting and you're in a rank like bronze or silver, really what you have to do is just spend time in training, learning how to do like that super easy stuff. Hit the ball, okay? Put the ball on target, those kind of things. We'll get more into that in a second. But the most important thing I have to say is, especially if you're just starting, and I spent hours doing this, and it was actually super helpful to my overall consistency in game, is I just spent hours of time in Freeplay, like we're doing now, just practicing consistently hitting the ball, so that hopefully that consistency can kind of translate into the game. Okay, and I think a couple of really important things that you can do in order to train that at the low ranks are: one, spending a ton of time in Freeplay, like I said, just driving around and hitting the ball. Okay, make it a little bit uncomfortable for yourself. Make sure you're boosting a lot, boost towards the ball, try to flip at the ball, put yourself in awkward situations where in a game you might freeze up a little bit because your opponent hit the ball in a way that you didn't expect them to, and now you don't know which direction to flip. Like, try to make those awkward situations for yourself in Freeplay so that you can practice hitting the ball when those situations come up. The other thing that I would say you should do at this stage, right, is to play the basic Rocket League tutorial training packs. Like, they've got the aerial pack and the striker pack and the goalie pack. You should play those packs a lot at the very sort of first stages of your learning in the game, and those things should help you to hit the ball more consistently, particularly when you're talking about hitting the ball more consistently. Just touching the ball rather than hitting it at the net. I would say the number one training packs that you should focus on are like the first two of the goalie pack. Just making sure that the ball doesn't go into your net. Okay? Obviously, you're going to want to put the ball in the opponent's net. That's how you score. That's how you win. But equally important is making sure that you don't get scored on. So playing those super basic goalie training packs that are made by Psyonix for Rocket League can be super helpful at that stage. Now, once you learn to hit the ball consistently, tip number 3 for you today is going to be that you need to never forget that you have to train yourself to also hit the ball consistently with purpose. Okay? So hit the ball away from your own net. Hit the ball in general, which is often a problem that bronze and silver players have, is just making good contact with the ball. But then you have to learn how to touch the ball in a way that it actually goes towards your net. Well, not your net, your opponent's net. So, there's a lot of training packs that I could recommend that you could use. There are a couple of really good ones that'll just help you with your consistency in making sure you're actually taking shots, and a bunch of training packs that will put the ball in an awkward place so that you have to hit it on a little bit of an angle, or angle your car in a certain way so that your touch isn't just sending it flying in the corner and then back onto your half of the field. It's actually sending it towards the net, and at a bare minimum giving you an opportunity to get close to the net, right? But 2 of the most important packs that you can, well, 3 I guess really, of the most important packs that you can use in order to practice this shot consistency are going to be the training packs that Psyonix has made under the striker category that will just send the ball towards your own net or towards your opponent's net in a way that you can score. And this will give you lots of opportunities to, try to make sure you get in the right angle and whatnot. And then there's tons of custom training packs that you can use for that as well. Okay. The long story short of this is that yes, training packs are a huge part of how you're going to get better. Use the custom training packs, but especially in the beginning, I used a lot of these just standard Psyonix Rocket League training packs. No shame in using those. That's why they're there. Okay. Now, kind of in line with that whole thing, okay, the whole shooting consistency problem is prevalent all, up through all the ranks, probably. Nobody's ever going to have 100% consistency. They're never going to hit every single shot they take. But particularly at the lower ranks, the thing that has elevated me the most, at least recently, is making sure that I'm hitting open nets. Now, doing these training packs and practicing my consistency when shooting and making sure that I'm shooting the ball at the net has helped me a lot to make sure that I'm hitting the open nets. But for sure, if you can practice your consistency and hit those open nets, which come up a lot at the low ranks, if you can practice your consistency and hit those open nets, that's when I had the biggest jump in rank. That's when I went from silver 2-ish to gold 2 in like one stream. Like I played like 10 or 12 games in one stream, and I made it from silver 2 all the way up to gold, because I just started winning. Every time I hit an open net, it would be another gap in the score. And once I got more consistent at shooting and started hitting open nets, like I was winning games by 5, 6, 7 goals every game, all the way up until I got into gold. Like I was on like a 12-game win streak or something like that, just because I was scoring so many open nets that people were forfeiting. Like I was just on open nets, open nets, open nets, open nets. The more open nets you hit, the more goals you'll score. The more consistent you are at shooting, the more open nets you'll hit, and the more likely your opponent is to just forfeit, if not concede, because they've missed so many saves. Okay. Another big tip I have for you is, and this is the last sort of tip of the day, okay, is something that I've found, and something that I was really, really bad at doing before, back when I was playing, back in the day, is tilt queuing, if you've ever heard that term, or just queuing when you're tilted, or queuing when you're mad, or queuing when you're frustrated. Okay? Don't keep playing competitive games if your goal is like, I want to get better, I want to rank up, I want to play better, I want to, be more consistent. Don't keep playing comp if you're sitting there mad because you've lost 10 games in a row. If you're losing games, your rank is going to go down. So if you start losing games, then stop playing games, and then your rank won't go down any further. So often, especially back in the day when I was playing before, I would say, and a lot of people would say, like, oh man, I've lost 5 games in a row, but like, let's just play one more, and we'll win this one, and then we'll get off. And then you lose, and then you say, we got to play one more, we got to end on a good note, we got to win one more, and then you get off. But then you never win, because every time you lose another game, you get more and more and more frustrated, and then you've lost 10 games in a row, and you've gone from diamond to plat 2, and you're wondering what has gone wrong in your life. Okay, but it's because you're queuing when you're mad, and the more frustrated you get, the more careless decisions you're going to make, and the worse you're going to play. Okay, if you're going to keep playing after you get to that point where you start losing games, if you're going to keep playing, the best tip I can give you is to at least take some kind of a break. Okay, do something else, get off the game completely, go watch a YouTube video or something, or jump into some training, play some workshop maps to take your mind away from the competitive aspect of what you're doing. But do something else that's not playing competitive Rocket League, and hopefully that will, flip the switch, and you can go back and have a couple more good games. But usually for me, right, I can maybe go like 10, 12, maybe 15 games max at like my like top peak performance before I start to be like, okay, this isn't going very well anymore, so I'm not going to keep playing. I'm not going to keep going. Maybe I'll take a break and come back, but if I get to a point where I'm like starting to make bad decisions, if I'm losing games, I mean, if you lose one game, you could get off and say, okay, now I'm going to play some casual, or I'm going to play some extra modes, or I'm going to do training packs, or I'm going to do workshop maps. You can do something else and then come back later, or you can take the rest of the day off, play again tomorrow. But your rank is going to stay higher, and you're not going to be going down in the ranks every single time you play if you just stop queuing when you're starting to lose. Okay? That's my final tip for you, and that's a big tip. Okay? So you should definitely take that one to heart. If you don't gain anything else from this video, take that one to heart. Okay? And I'm sure that as we continue to play, I'll come across a ton more things that I need to work on and learn and improve in order to keep improving at the game. Right now we're sitting in gold. Obviously the next goal is to get up to plat and then diamond and so on and so forth. I don't think I don't need to be an SSL in this game in order to be happy in my life. I'd like to make it to champ. Maybe grand champ would be nice. I got a lot of learning to do until we can get to that point. But we've only really been playing for a short time, and I mean, I'm in it, I'm playing a lot, but we've really only been playing for a short time since I started back playing, so we've still got a long way to go. Now, all that being said, okay, if you liked this video or this format and you found these tips to be helpful, or you just want to hear more tips in the future, please don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can see more content from me in the future. Okay, and do me a favor and check out my other social media accounts and my live streams on YouTube and Twitch. We stream on Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, usually starting around like 11 p.m. Eastern time, sometimes a little bit earlier than that. And I think streams going forward will be on both YouTube and Twitch. Right now they mostly just happen on Twitch, but I am working on getting sort of a double stream going so you can stream both on YouTube and Twitch, and we'll be doing that this evening and then again every Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and sometimes in between as well. Okay, thank you guys very much for watching. Again, like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and we'll hope to see you in the next one.